Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Two food vendors shot in Montego Bay. Two food vendors are now nursing gunshot injuries following an incident in which they were attacked by a lone gunman in Montego Bay Transport Center in St. James on Thursday morning. It has been reported that shortly after 4 a.m., both vendors who sell hot meals at the entrance of the transport center were attending to early morning customers when they were approached by a man who brandished a handgun. The gunman opened fire, hitting both vendors before he escaped on foot. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, the vendors were discovered suffering from gunshot wounds and were rushed to hospital. They were treated and admitted in serious but stable condition. Woman accused of filming sex act between children gets bail. A St. Catherine woman who was charged for allegedly making a video showing her child and another minor engaging in sexual act was granted $80,000 bail when she appeared in court on Wednesday. The 27-year-old woman is charged with production of child pornography. She appeared before the parish judge, Natalie Claire Dixon, in the St. Catherine Parish Court, where she was ordered to surrender her travel documents as part of her bail condition. She is to reappear in court on February 10, 2023, when the matter will again be mentioned. The woman allegedly watched and filmed a sex act between her daughter and younger brother on December 1. The police received information about the crime and an investigation was launched. The woman was arrested and the two children removed to a place of safety. Cops sentenced for illegal weapon and ammunition. A police constable who was found with 83 rounds of ammunition and an illegal weapon, which he claimed he found in 2018, was sentenced to 3 years and 10 months in prison. Alberta Taylor, 31, who was assigned to the Area 5 headquarters, was sentenced to 3 years and 10 months for illegal possession of a firearm and 3 years for illegal possession of ammunition in the gun court. After pleading guilty, the sentences are to run concurrently. The lawman, who had served the country for 9 years, was arrested and charged after he was found with the weapon at the Swallow Field Examination Depot in St. Anne in October. Taylor was held after he was seen acting in a suspicious manner, and when searched, an Austria Glock pistol and one magazine were found in his waistband. One round and a gun holster was also found elsewhere in his person. The police then went to his home, and following a search, several different rounds of ammunition were found in his shoes and plastic bags. A handgun holster, a baton, and a carry-on were among the items that were also recovered. Taylor, when cautioned, told the police that he found the gun in 2018 and decided to keep it because he had applied for a licensed firearm but was turned down. Attorney at law Matt Height represented Taylor. Man killed by security guard in China Harbor complex in Newport West. A man who was shot and killed by a security guard on Wednesday after he and at least one other allegedly attempted to gain entry to the China Harbor Engineering Company Newport West complex in St. Andrew. This is the second shooting incident this week at Czech Complex. The Corporate Communications Unit, the information arm of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, confirmed the shooting happened about 5:50 p.m. during a confrontation with a man and a security guard. The CCU said that no weapon was recovered from the deceased man, who is yet to be identified. Sources told reporters that the shooting may not have been justified. There was no break-in. My information is that the security guards saw a man walking outside the compound along with the perimeter fence, got nervous, confronted him, and shot him. This could have been a homeless man, a madman, or just somebody catching crab in the area. There needs to be proper investigation, the source said. The previous incident on Sunday night was at Czech's property at the industrial complex at 6 miles in Fair St. Andrew. Two security guards, 60-year-old Lincoln Royal and 22-year-old Brandon Small, were killed at the premises. One of the guards was found in the trunk of a motor car with a gunshot wound to the head, while the other was found in bushes nearby. He had also been shot. Man fined $80,000 for attempting to bribe cop. A man who was dragged before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday for attempting to bribe a police officer after he was allegedly trying to steal a cell phone from a woman's bag was fined $80,000 or 12 months imprisonment. The man, Shamar Christie, stood before Senior Parish Judge Lorian Cole Montague to answer to the charges of unlawful possession of a property, attempting bribery, and possession of an offensive weapon. He was also sentenced to 10 days in prison after pleading guilty to possession of a ratchet knife. The allegations are that on November 21, the investigating officer, along with other police officers, observed Christie putting his right hand in the knapsack of a woman who was entering a taxi. He was seen removing an item that the police officer could not clearly see due to their distance away from Christie. The court was told that the officer noted that Christie dropped the item at a section at a grill that was affixed to the top of a wall, then he walked away. Christie was approached and held by the police officer. It was revealed that a blue cell phone was retrieved from the location. Additionally, the court was told that when he was held by the police officer, Christie told the lawman that he could give him $50,000 and he would top it up and just call it a day. Speaking on the nature of the offenses, Montego described them as a threat to the public. Christie was not sentenced for the offense of unlawful possession of property. Instead, he is to return to court on January 16. It is also expected that an additional charge of larceny is to be added. The court also made a fingerprint order for Christie. Daughter gets probation after altercation with mother over sexual preferences. A daughter was given 1-year probation in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday, accused of assaulting her mother after they had an altercation about the daughter's sexual preferences. The accused, Shari Williams, stood before Senior Parish Judge Laurie and Cole Montego and pleaded guilty to the offense of assault occasionally but actually bodily harm. The allegations are that on October 20, the complainant was attacked by her daughter after returning home from the family court, where she made a report about Williams. She was allegedly hit with a mop stick during the incident. Explaining the cause of the altercation, the complainant told the court that she went to the family's court because she didn't think Williams was doing a good job raising her 2 daughters. She added that they had also been arguing about Williams scaring a woman to the house to sleep with, and she believed that Williams is not setting the right example for the children. Making it known that she had nothing against the other woman, the complainant stressed that she is a Christian and her daughter needs to set a good example for her children. Aiming to clarify her action, Williams told the judge that she didn't hit her mother with a mop stick, but instead, she boxed out her hand. So, we need to start prayer. Some curse fall on young people, and them don't know why. That's your mother, the judge tried. After hearing both parties' testimonies, the judge informed Williams that she would be the subject of a probation order for 1 year. Rashawn Patterson, man charged with Sukiana's murder, remanded. Rashawn Patterson, the man charged with the murder of popular social media influencer Anika Sukiana 1000, was remanded when he made his appearance in the St. James Circuit Court on Thursday morning. A bail hearing had been expected for Patterson. However, when the case was called up, the prosecution told Justice Andrea Thomas that several items were outstanding. Among the outstanding items are DNA comparison, forensic and vehicle tracking reports. Patterson's attorney Michelle Thomas did not produce a bail application. Patterson is booked to reappear in court on March 9, 2023. It is alleged that Towson traveled from Kingston to Montego Bay, where she was picked up by Patterson at approximately 7:30 p.m. on October 20. During the evening, they visited a restaurant in Hanover and a guest house in St. James. At some point during the night, an argument reportedly developed between them, which resulted in Patterson allegedly strangling Towson and disposing of her body. Towson's body was retrieved from the sea in Reading, St. James on October 21. The police carried out their investigations named Patterson as a person of interest on October 22nd. He was picked up at a guest house in Hanover by an Air 1 operational team on November 2nd. Musician charged for murder of Clarendon Mason. 22-year-old Javin Nell, otherwise called Javan, a musician of Threadlight District, Clarendon, has been charged for the murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. The charges stem from an incident in his community on November 27, in which 40-year-old Donald Simpson Mason of Threadlight District was killed. The police say that about 8:45 p.m., Nell and an accomplice pounced upon Simpson and his 2 minor sons and opened gunfire, hitting Simpson in his upper body. The children were able to escape. The police were alerted, and upon arrival, Simpson was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Nell was later arrested and was charged on Wednesday.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell